You're listening to the Outright Proud podcast, LBQ Parenting Series. In this series, we'll hear about the parenting experiences of lesbian, bisexual, and queer activists from around the world, including Outright staff, LBQ Connect alumni, and sounding board members. This series is an opportunity to share their stories, amplify their needs, and celebrate their families. On this week's episode, Neela Ghoshal, Outright Senior Director of Law, Policy, and Research, has a heartfelt conversation with Matcha Phornin, an activist from Thailand and LBQ Connect alumna, full of shared parental stories and policy talk. Listen now.
Hi, Matcha. It's so nice to be here with you today. I'm Neela Ghoshal, and today I'm going to be speaking with Matcha Phornin about diverse families and LBQ parenting. Matcha, so happy to have you here. Really looking forward to this conversation. Can you please just go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everyone who you are and where you are?
Thank you so much, Neela. My name is Matcha Phornin. I define myself as Lao ethnic minority, lesbian, feminist, woman, human rights defender, and a trail runner. I was from my organization called สร้างสรรค์อนาคตเยาวชน The meaning is support young people, specifically indigenous people, to create their own future. I have been working for human rights, especially for women, children, and LGBTIQ in the past 18 years since I was youth. And I joined the international movement in terms of advancing family equality for the last decade. And I involving with marriage equality in Thailand for more than 10 years.
That's amazing, Matcha. It's such incredible, fantastic work that you've been doing. We've been following you and your work over the years. And I think one thing that you didn't mention in introducing yourself just now that I know is very central to who you are is that you're also a parent, and you have accomplished the incredible feat of raising a child while also doing all this amazing intersectional advocacy in Thailand and really changing things for women, children, indigenous people, LGBTIQ people, and also for your own family. So I wondered if you could just tell us a little bit about how you came to be a parent.
For me, actually, it's accidents. I say accident because in the beginning, my daughter, at that time, she is my niece. She went to visit me with my mother, which is her grandmom. And when she was with me, I found a big barrier between 9-year-old girl with my mom, who was 70 years old. And I just told my mom that I couldn't let her to be in that condition because normally I have been working with 100 indigenous young people, and I think I should better nurture her. That was a big issue because actually her father and her mother, who broke up when she was 3, not happy about it because I have been faced homophobic within my own family. I have a very well acceptance as a daughter, as a sister of her father. However, when we form the family, it's something else. So that is the reason why I say accidents, because suddenly when she was visit me, I asked my mom and my family that I want to take care of her because I want to provide a better condition for a girl. And that happened, 2 years later, in the beginning, she called me auntie and she questioning about my partner. And she, at that time, she tried to understanding the relationship because she was nurtured in the rural area. And being lesbian couple is something not visible in her context. When she be with us, she learning about how we form the family. 2 years later, she called my wife. Mom, we was at that time excited and just check ourselves that she called us mom now. And that's how the family means to us is accident with the full acceptance and full responsibility to being her two moms.
That's an incredible story. And I could just imagine the joy when she called you both her mom. I would love to hear a little bit more about the process with your family, though. You said that your brother was her biological father and that he had come to accept you as a lesbian, but then he struggled to accept the fact that you were actually raising his child. What was that process like? How did you negotiate this with him, and how did he come to accept you raising her?
I think that's really difficult in the first 2 years since she's be with us, and then when she overcome, call us as mom, and that's even more issue within our family. I am direct talk to my family, but as you can imagine, homophobic is very deep within the family. However, we started to advocate in online. I give a lot of interview visible in the video talking about how difficult to fighting for marriage equalities or how we are nurture our family, and that I think that impact positively to my family, meaning that more and more they accept our family, and the fact that my daughter now is call us as mom. However, the legal process is the big struggle for us.
Let's go to the legal process in a minute, Matcha. But I just want to remark on something that you just said. We all do, those of us who are activists, we're all doing public advocacy a lot in our lives, and we also often find ourselves doing private advocacy, trying to get people in our lives to accept us. And I think it's so interesting the connection you just made, that the public advocacy that you were doing, actually putting this issue on the table in the national media in Thailand, was what got your family to understand that this was a legitimate struggle. Were you ever worried during that time that that there was a chance that your public advocacy would make it harder for your family to accept you, or to accept you as the parent of this child? Were they nervous about you being an open public lesbian activist? Or was that something that was, eventually pretty easy for them to get used to?
I think that actually we couldn't hide our family. In fact, you know what happened? Every morning, we going together to send her to the school. We hug her, we kiss her. And her friend asking that, who is those two women? And my daughter said, I have two mothers. Meaning that actually, even we are not advocate in any online or media platform, the people who saw three of us walking together, holding hands, already acknowledged that this is a family, meaning that we couldn't deny the visibility and acknowledgement, even there is no legal acknowledged. I was very carefully when talking about my child, because she also need to be protected. Under 15, there is no her name mentioned, there is no visibility of her face, and she wrote an article when she was 14 with like not mention the name, but talking about what look like when the child being with two mother or with the LGBTIQ parents, and that's how we protected her. And after 15, she told me that she want to start to advocate because her experience need to be changing the life of the other students. And she believes that her story will empower the child under the rainbow family or the rainbow family ourselves. So she started to advocate by her own. She wrote some articles, she gives some interview, but we are full acknowledge of her child rights, and we ensure that she be able to coping with her own struggle, and we are providing a greater support to her. And in 2020, she was won the Human Rights Award in the category of human rights because of her work advancing the right of the child of the rainbow family.
That's amazing. I mean, you'd already been nurturing younger activists in movements, and then suddenly you found yourself nurturing your own daughter into activism. And it sounds like she really took this on as her own struggle and as something where she wanted to stake her claim and tell her story. That is so powerful. There must have been some challenges along the way, though. Can you speak a little bit? I know there were legal challenges that you wanted to mention. So maybe you can tell me a little bit about legal challenges related to adoption as well as any other challenges that you faced.
I think talking about being LGBTIQ in Thailand, we don't have any legal protections. And marriage equality 10 years ago is actually not really famous or more accepted among social movement like nowadays. But then if we not speak up, who gonna take it on, right? We start the step to advocate.
Right. So just to clarify for the audience, Matcha, right now there is still no legal marriage equality in Thailand, right? You're still in the struggle?
Yes, but within 1 year, we gonna complete the process of legal. We are now almost done the processes in the parliaments. And actually today, the final draft is going back to the parliament to make the consideration by the parliaments. And we wishing within 1 year, marriage equality in Thailand will be won. We will win.
This is so huge. I can't wait to celebrate when that day comes. I probably won't be in Thailand, but I hope I'll be celebrating with you from wherever I am.
Yeah.
So marriage equality is on the way, but it's not something you were able to benefit from while you were raising your child. So how did that affect your life and the lack of legal protections for you as parents?
Yeah, I think it's not only about our child, but it's about our partner, our life partner, our wife as well. That we couldn't benefit from the social benefit. We couldn't benefit from our sharing property, and we have lack of acknowledgement, and we couldn't sign any kind of legal documents in the emergency situations. And in Thailand case, we have some LGBTIQ couple who lost their life because their partner or their wife, their husband couldn't sign that allow the doctor to provide support when they got accident, for example. So I think there is a big obstacle for our LGBTIQ couple. However, when we have the child, it's also attend the difficulty to the child. For example, right to travel of my daughter was restrictions. When she was 10 years old or 11 years old, we took her to the government sector and trying to get the visa that we are going to travel abroad. But we cannot even provide her the passport because I couldn't sign any of her legal documents. And her father and her mother not respond to that. So right to travel of my daughter was restrictions. The other issue also, for example, insurance is not cover our couple, and it's also I am not even sign the life insurance for my daughter, meaning that she do not protect it when she need to go to the hospital, for example. And also she will face it bullying at the school. Can you imagine that the girl who are 9 years old, 10 years old went to the school with two moms? But my daughter, trying to create her safe space with her own friend. And she's surrounded with transgender children, bisexual children, and also ethnic minority who are studying in the same school. And they are together, protect each other.
Wow. She didn't have the feeling that she was alone in school.
Yes, she told the story, and friends who have the same experience come as a group because they was bullying with the other friend, and they come as a group. And that is how my daughter trying to survive in the education system in Thailand, which actually is no procedure to respond to bullying, especially when it's based on GSC. And I also working with her teacher, meaning that every single year that she passed, we went to visit the school and told that we are, human rights defender, we are not accepting punishment of our child, and we also expert on LGBTIQ rights, meaning that if the school had the problem about it, please invite us, we will join, and providing some necessary information for any teacher, student, or even parents. So that is how we also trying to protect her. But on the other hand, I'm working with many schools in terms of protection the child who are LGBTIQ. So that kind of experience helped my daughter a lot. Also because she gained the knowledge and experience when we run a lot of activity with the school.
That's great. This is so inspiring. Matcha, I also have a 9-year-old child. And even though he goes to a very progressive school in an American city, he tells me sometimes that, he likes to listen to a openly gay musician, Lil Nas X. And he says, oh, some of my friends don't listen to him because he's gay. And I say to him, well, those friends are going to have to contend with me as your mother, that I'm also queer. And your friends need to know that there's queer people around them everywhere. And that's going to be a part of their lives. So, they might as well get used to it and enjoy some good music by a gay musician. But 9-year-olds are complicated. There's a lot of peer pressure, a lot of bullying. So it sounds like you did so much with your own advocacy, again, in the school setting, making sure that she was safe.
Yes.
Were the teachers receptive to this and the school? Did they come along with you on this journey?
Luckily that in her junior high school, all the teacher is really accepted and protected her. But it's different story when she went to the high school. She faced a very difficult because of teacher lack of understanding about LGBTIQ rights. On the other hand, she started a really, processed her advocacy in online. She started to produce her a kind of video or YouTube and told the story. And she have her own page, her own Facebook page to tell the story. I think that is also how the teacher acknowledge, even they are not accepting LGBTIQ students who are, LGBTIQ student, but they saw in online platform that this young activist doing her advocacy about LGBTIQ rights. So I think that is how, she started to more self-defense in terms of defending her own rights, even there is lack of acceptance in the school settings.
Yeah, and her teachers realized that she was a force to contend with, right? Just like her elementary school teachers realized that you were a force to contend with, and they couldn't just get away with doing whatever they wanted. Did you have any role models? Did you have other lesbian parents in your lives, or other queer families that were supporting you on your journey and were going through similar journeys themselves?
I think because 30 years ago, in my community, which is in the rural area, northeast of Thailand, there is no visibility of lesbian or bisexual women at all. And then I need to find myself to be the better model for myself, actually. And then when I went to the university also, I faced the same challenge that my daughter faced, which is no acceptance from teachers and also friends around. However, I turned to create my attend family, meaning that the people who surrounded me is transgender, gay, lesbian. We started to form our own family and protected each other. So that's how I learned, even there is no one that we could see as the model, because at that time it's no one, 20 years ago. But we could be our own self-leadership to standing and find way. And it's also happening when we are very visible now in Thailand, that the young people, they ran to me and saying that, thank you so much to what you are doing. And you make me feel that form a family is possible. I have that reflections from a lot of young LGBTIQ, which actually for me, it means a lot. because we not only pushing for marriage equality for our family, but actually from our LGBTIQ communities.
Yeah. So you were the trailblazer. You made this possible for all these other people. That is really incredible. And so now with marriage equality coming, hopefully just around the corner, is it also, do you think life will get easier generally? Do you think adoption will be legalized? Will there be any other legal challenges for queer families down the line? And how do you anticipate that those challenges will be dealt with?
I think the first what challenge us when we join the process of legislation process is we trying to make marriage it possible for everyone, meaning that it cannot rooted with the binary system. And imagine all the law is about binary, and we are trying to make this law possible to changing the mindset of the society, that first there is not only men and women in this society, but we have LGBTIQAN plus. Secondly, the neutral vocabulary to use, the term that we need to use. For example, we don't use the word father and mother because it's not neutral. We are proposed with the parents because the parent mean, any gender. And then that makes, a lot of law need to be changed to comply with more alternative law. And the process takes us 10 years until nowadays that young people and the parliament not suddenly, but it's possible to accept and support what needs to be done for advancing family equality in Thailand. And the Thai government are pro marriage equality, and we hope that the parliament will consideration all the things that we have been working in the past 2 months in terms of draft the most comprehensive law. And civil societies, LGBTIQ activists, included myself, the representation from the rainbow family, we are stand to support the government to pass this law. The challenge remains. For example, a lot of implementation need to be done on the ground. The training will be required. The budget will need to be allocated so that allow the law full implementation. However, this is the time that we have to waiting a little bit for celebration the greatest success, not only for Thailand, but for our region and for our global LGBTIQ movement. And Thailand will be really learning from Taiwan, and also will be the lesson learned from the other country who start the movement and trying to achieve.
Yes, exactly. I can't wait to see Thailand become a model, just the same way that you became a model for others. Thailand hopefully will become a model for others in the region. So, can you say a little bit more about whether there will still be obstacles to legal adoption once marriage equality goes through Parliament?
When the legal or the marriage equality successes in Thailand, legal adoption or co-parenting will be possible. That will also make a life of children of LGBTIQ parents possible to provide protection for our own child, because what exactly happened when we don't have marriage equality is that single adoption is not the choice for many family. Imagine if one mother, lost their life because of any reason. The other mother don't have any legal status to protection the child. So that's why when marriage equality pass, the co-adoption will be equally similarly with hetero couples. So I think that means a lot to the child, especially under rainbow family in Thailand, that they finally have two moms equally with the other family.
Great. That's so great to hear. So once the marriage equality bill goes through, legal adoption will be possible.
Yeah. I think maybe out of the record, that's why, but I just would like to share that when single adoption is not our choice, because my daughter told me that how can I choose one mom to be my only mom? So I think that's really heartbroken for us. You know, she don't want to make, you know, just only one mom to be her like legal mom. And that's why even now she can do self-adoption to us, but we still waiting, you know, until marriage equality possible so that she will have fully two mom.
Yeah, beautiful. And maybe, I guess my last question for you today is, what would your message be to other queer families around the world that are maybe continuing to face challenges, legal discrimination, societal discrimination, while trying to raise children and trying to raise queer families? What's your message to all these other families out there?
The very strong message that I would like to give to all of our rainbow family and LGBTIQ who are parenting now is that even there is no law or acceptance, we are exist. However, the society acceptance and also legal protection is very important, because our life will not be difficult if the society acknowledge and understand LGBTIQ rights and support family equality and marriage equalities. I am standing here side by side with you all, and what I learned so far is that I am so privileged to be able to speak up and stand to defending right to family when a lot of my community unable to do because of restriction and legal discriminations, meaning that we wish everyone hearing how it's important to legalize, to propose an alternative law that be able to protect it LGBTIQ and decriminalization. Any law related to LGBTIQ rights is very important, and I hope you are support that. For LGBTIQ children, you are not alone. And my daughter said when she's on the media, children saw her, and that was the success story, because when she was the child, she see no one. And now when the child saw someone, meaning that our community is more connected, and we will one day achieve marriage equality globally, I believe.
Thank you so much, Matcha. So there's a long struggle ahead in many places, but people like you who are out there and visible, and people like your daughter are going to pave the road and make this possible for so many other families, not just in Thailand, but around the world. So from one queer parent to another, I am so honored and humbled to speak to you today. Amazing everything that you've been able to accomplish, and I wish the best to you and your family.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.